Okay guys, we got the fuel lines in, right in there if you can see it. I'll give you guys a better shot of this later, but right there you can see the flex fuel sensor in. And right now we're just organizing the connection cables for, I've got bank 2 in my left hand and bank 1 around my right side. And we're just kind of lining up all of these connection ports because basically each one of these will go, we've unplugged the fuel injector driving module, I guess you could call it. We've unplugged that right from the fuel injector itself. And basically what's gonna happen is this flex fuel kit is we're gonna plug one of these right into the fuel injector, and then the other side of it, which is connected right on the same little, right here, same port arm. We've got 2 here, as you can see. One's gonna go in the fuel injector and the other one's gonna go right into our actual car's fuel injection system, so the computer can still talk to it. But it's gotta go through this E85 kit so that it can understand how much fuel it should be delivering in an appropriate time frame. So we're just wiring bank 1 and bank 2 on the module, and we'll be all set. All right, guys, we got it all in. So what we did again, just to point this out, we had removed this fuel line, the stock fuel line from the car that comes up from the back where the gas tank is, feeds into the engine right in here, and feeds right into the fuel rails itself, which sends this fuel into the injectors on bank 1 and 2. So we removed this. We're using the flex fuel lines that come from there and then connect into the fuel rail. But the reason why you got to disconnect that and put their fuel lines in is because you need this inline ethanol sensor. Plugs into that part of the fuel line and then that part of the fuel line. And that's sensing how much alcohol in the fuel is going through the fuel, and that's going to feed this app that I'll show you guys in a minute. The other thing you got to do is you got to run this module. If you guys can see the module there, I installed it underneath the strut tower brace. You got to install the module, and then you got to run these lines into each fuel injector driver module, if you will, which is really what's coming from the computer, pulling an air-to-fuel ratio in the car, and it's sending the right amounts of pulse width through the injectors. And you've got to plug this harness in. You got to unplug the injector, plug one part of the harness into the injector and the other part right into one part of the harness into the fuel injector driver module, and then the other part right into the fuel injector itself. And then that way, this commander, first of all, the alcohol is sensed through the inline fuel sensor. It's that data is being fed to the commander that's right underneath here that I installed. And then that commander is sending the signal of how much air to fuel this is going to need per injector. And it's making it a flex fuel E85 setup or 93 octane. So you can jump back and forth from flex fuel to E85. Hey guys, Dan the Mustang Doctor here. We are just getting the car running now. We've got just about a half a tank of E85 in, the rest is 93 octane. On just the straight 93, we were running on the app a 10% ethanol count. As you guys can see now, we're climbing pretty good. We're up to 41%, 42. Essentially, we're running E85-R, which is really a racing blend of E85. And essentially the big difference between E85-R and pump E85 is the R is just supposed to be that much more pure, if you will. You're supposed to get a perfect blend of 85% ethanol. Of course, we're only looking at 43 right now because, like, as I said, we only have just about a half a tank of E85 in the car. The rest was 93. But we are finding the car becoming quite a bit rich at idle. This normal stoic air to fuel is like 14.1. I know a lot of people say the stoic is 14.7, which is accurate, but on these newer cars they run it at 14.1. But as you guys can see, we're dropping way down to 12 and into the 11s. I think at 85% ethanol, once we reach that, if we may not, with just less than a half a tank in it right now, but at 85 we should be seeing somewhere between 9.5 to 10 AFR at idle. So, because the 85 runs a lot richer. The nice thing about this though is we've got the kit, the E85 kit right on the car that's adjusting for flex fuel between 90, pump gas, or I should say regular unleaded pump gas, and ethanol fuel. It should be, it's making adjustments on the fly. So the system's really nice. Comes with a great app that works really well. This is live ethanol, alcohol content in the fuel, and just kind of letting it warm up and register the ethanol count, and we're allowing the PCM to relearn right now. So just kind of keeping an eye on it. Curious to watch the adjusted AFR and continue to watch the ethanol count. Probably do a little bit more driving, of course, tomorrow, and get some more of that 93 octane out of the tank, so we get a full tank of pure E85. But we'll see where we go from here. Keep you guys posted.